Now some of you might be wondering, what is there to do in the Whitsundays when it rains? In summer we have torrential rain, and it's usually our wet season. So we have two seasons, we have dry season and wet season here. Wet season, it can literally rain for 6 weeks at a time, non-stop, like it has been the last few weeks. So we've had rain now for 3 or 4 weeks since Christmas time. This is actually my favourite time of the year for the Whitsundays because the rainforests are beautiful and green. They're just absolutely gorgeous. As you can see here in our backyard, we live against a rainforest mountain here. And the birds are marvellous. They're like everywhere at the moment. And it's really zen to just sit out here and listen to the rain and the creek go through the waterfall and all the birds. Another reason is the rain also fills our waterfalls and our cascading rock pools. And so our main waterfall is Cedar Creek Falls, which at the moment you can't get through because there's a causeway over it, and so there's just flooding and you can't get through to it. But that's not the only ones we have though. Just behind Woolworths up the road here, we have a creek that runs up the mountain, and it's in walking distance to all the main accommodation areas. And there's just cascading pools all along that walk. Also, if you don't mind muddy conditions and you have a 4-wheel drive, there is a creek called Waterfall Creek at Cape Gloucester. It's only about 20 minutes away, and the name kind of gives it away in that if you walk up the creek, there is just waterfall after waterfall. And yesterday I was looking on Instagram and there was quite some good photos of it. As I just mentioned earlier, our backyard sits up against the rainforest, and we have some incredible bird life here that comes to feed on all the flowers. For example, over this way here, we have these. This time of year, whenever it rains, there's a red berry that is on the trees here, and there's another one up here. And whenever we see those red berries, we know that the Imperial Pigeons are going to come. So every year, most of my Imperial Pigeon photos are with the rain, and that's because they come during the rainy season when these berries are fruiting. The first time I ever saw Imperial Pigeons was at Cairns, which is about 8 hours away, and I love them so much, and seeing them up close that we've even got a print of one on our wall inside. And then when we moved here, we realised that they were actually in our own backyard here. So yeah, we love it here. The Imperial Pigeon, believe it or not, was nearly shot to extinction in the 1900s, early 1900s. And then the Australian government made them a protected species, so now you can't shoot them. Apparently they taste pretty good. And they're easy to catch too, because we have a lot of their breeding areas are down near the beaches, so they're easy to catch. Hopefully soon we'll have a family, around 4 o'clock, 4:30, we have a family that go into or a flock of them that go into the trees here. So I'll get some footage when that happens. Another bird that visits regularly is our Sunburn, or some people call it a yellow belly. The female has a full yellow belly and the male has a blue collar on it. And they come to feed on the flowers, especially the hibiscus in our yard. And the rainforest also has bell flowers that they like to feed on. And of course the rain, it makes our passion fruit vines start growing and flowering, and they always come every morning to feed on the passion fruit flower. This year we've also noticed that over in this direction there's a palm that's growing up. We're not sure what sort of palm it is, but there's a red berry on it, and the lorikeets every day come and feed on it. So, morning and night there'd be lorikeets there. Normally they feed on the palms here, but this is a palm too, but it's a different type of palms than what we have in the corner there. So that's pretty exciting, because it means that they actually will stay around a lot longer, because the palm in our corner there, the fruit's actually fallen down and is now gone, and normally the lorikeets would be up in the mountains again. But at the moment this one is fruiting, and so they're there again. Another type of bird that we get is the cockatoos. They always come for our passion fruits. So what we've done is we've planted 3 passion fruits all down this side of the house, and we kind of say there's 1 for us and 2 for the cockatoos, because then we don't mind them having a feed, and we always have plenty left over to give the neighbours and our friends. They always make a great picture too, like when you have a cockatoo sitting on the fence here against the rainforest trees. In this direction over here, there's some flowers popping up. You probably can't see it in the GoPro wideness of the video here, but there's flowers popping up, and after the rain we know that it's going to be chock-a-block full of flowers, and which also means there's going to be literally thousands of butterflies all over that. So when that happens, I'll take some video and I'll show you all. So that's about it for our rainforest out the back here in our own yard. But yeah, don't let the rain put you off visiting the Whitsundays, because there's always plenty to do. You can just put on a rain jacket and go walking up the mountain tracks that the council's got on. As I said, just watch the road conditions, because if you go to Cedar Creek Falls, you can have a causeway that can, if it's really heavy that day, you might be stuck in there. So you don't want to be flooded in anywhere that you don't want to be. But yeah, this is the best time of the year to visit the rainforest.